Crystal Hammond, while you were in Portland for a show called FinCon, you met a ton of people and you shoved a microphone in all their faces?
Oh, yeah. This was great, Joe. And the unfunny part was I kept forgetting to get on. So I had a really cool sound bite from our Uber driver, but I realized I didn't have the microphone on. And he's, no, not re-recording. I was like,
really?
Yeah.
1 star. 1 star for that Uber driver. But it turns out our Money Geek friends had a bunch of money advice. It was both frugal and responsible and timely. You're going to hear some great tips for your next trip on today's show.
Yes, you are. And most travel gear out there is just plain awful. So we share our gear of the day at the end of each episode. So these are pieces that we've actually used ourselves, or they come recommended from fellow adventurers like yourselves or our guests. So these are things, they're not some random things you saw like in a sketchy Facebook ad. So if you want tried and true gear that saves you money, makes your trip smoother, and helps you adventure smarter, head to our Gear of the Day page, stackingadventures.com/gear of the day. You will be supporting the show and setting yourself up with some gear that's Crystal Joe-alicious.
But the best way Crystal supports the show is she kicks it off by saying,
let's get this show on the road.
Ready for adventure? From vacation to staycation, and from the mountains to the beach. This is the Stacking Adventures podcast.
Welcome back to the Stacking Adventures podcast. Every adventure has a story, and on this show, we hear yours. And we travel around the world with our adventure community. Stack memories we'll remember forever. She is Crystal Hammond.
And I'm Joe Salsihai. He's Joe Salsihai.
How are you, Hammond?
Wonderful. We're missing some sun, but I am great. I love talking, obviously, because that's why we're here, just like Joe. But we got to hear some good stories. So now you won't hear us, a.k.a. Joe, talk the whole time. You're going to hear so many.
I don't know why at the beginning of every show, you just think it's time to rip me, like every show.
Oh, no.
This is just...
Keep talking. I'm here for you.
This
These
is what BFFs
ears belong to you. Yes.
This is what BFFs are all about. And she's trolling me as well for most of our audience because she's in a gross hat.
You cannot pronunciate. Like, I feel like you need to get your hooked on phonics because it's a great Buckeye hat. There you go.
Just disgusting. So let's get off that topic and let's go to the audio tape from Portland. And Crystal, this first one you got is from Wendy Wright. Let's listen to Wendy's tip.
Hey, I'm Wendy Wright of Wendy Wright Financial Therapy, and I am at FinCon having a good time.
What's your travel tip?
My travel tip is to make a plan for your travel and relax in that plan. Know that the plan's going to do it. One of my financial therapy principles is that a plan is only as good as the adjustment process, and if you've traveled, you make adjustments. So have a strategy for the adjustments while you're there. That helps decrease stress and increase enjoyment of your trip.
Awesome.
It's fabulous, Crystal.
You know, everything, you can plan till you're blue in the face and then something will throw things off. Just expect that something can happen at any moment and just embrace the delays. A delay happens for a reason. Like, you either get upset about it or you can just say, hey, I'll just get more steps in the airport, or it's saving me from something else.
I think there's 2 types of planning. I think there is planning the specific thing you're going to do and then planning for free time. And I think they're both great. But you and I both travel with people. You travel with somebody to Japan, right? That had a minute by minute list, and that drove you crazy.
That was Hawaii. Oh yeah. The spreadsheet of activities. That's what that was. Fun. But it was fun.
We had a friend who planned our trip to France, and even the travel agent told this friend, you're going too far. Like, you're planning way too much stuff. And guess what happened on the trip? We were somewhat stressed out because I felt like we were always behind. Oh, we got to get to this. We had to schedule everything, and we got to the next thing, got to the next thing, got to the next thing, got to the next thing. And while Bordeaux, France was nice, it would have been nicer had we had a little bit more free time. So
even in Hawaii, yeah, there was one point I couldn't get on another boat because I got sick on the last boat, but I had prepaid for parasailing, so I had to give away my ticket for that. But
Oh,
I
no.
saw this really cool mall, and I spent a lot of time at the mall, which is exactly what I wanted to do. So while they went parasailing, I was like, you will catch me at the mall.
You spent money
That
on
worked out.
parasailing that you didn't do and more money at a mall
True,
at the same time.
but
It's like double the pleasure.
the mall was rewarding because I found those Hawaiian cookies. If you go to Hawaii, you got to buy those cookies.
That sounds so good. And that Hawaiian bread, I could eat that Hawaiian bread.
Oh, yeah, of course. And the
all day long, the king bread. It's funny, though, back to this idea of planning. I love what Wendy's saying, though, which is once the plan's in place, then relax. Then just do it. The plan is the answer. Don't get all stressed out about the next thing on the plan. Just follow the plan and enjoy your vacation. Next up is Sanam.
Hi, I'm Sanam. I run a global money coaching business called Money Mojo. My travel tip is to always make sure you have the right documentation before you travel, whether that be the right visas for the country that you're going to, or just making sure that your passport is valid for over 6 months. That stuff always sneaks up on you, and so just make sure you check that out.
Boy, you know how loaded that is.
Yeah, especially the visas and even vaccinations, too. Some countries require certain vaccines, so that's a lot to think about and plan for and budget for.
What a lot of people don't know that is this: if your documentation to leave the country has less than 6 months to go, the people that are letting you out of the country might not even let you out. So you need to make sure that you've at least 6 months to go on your travel documentation just to leave the country. So on your passport that you have one that's more than 6 months away from expiration. That's number one. And I think they do that proactively, Crystal, because they might not let you in the country, whichever country you're going to, because they fear that you're just going to stay there. Maybe. I don't know. The second thing, though, I love what you said about the medical stuff, the vaccinations. Everything's changing. In England, in the UK, there now is a new visa that you have to get. Even if you're just traveling through Heathrow or Gatwick, you still have to get this thing. If you don't have it, you can get at the airport at the time, but it's going to be a time waste. And if you have a close connection, you're going to have trouble. So get that ahead of time. The EU passing new visa requirements now so that you may need a visa depending on when you're going to the EU. To get in there. There's always new stuff. So Cheryl and a friend of hers, they are traveling to India together, Crystal. This is quite a while ago. Our kids were 2. I stayed home with our kids. And so Cheryl goes there. The first part was business, and then they decided to travel while they were there. But they get there and they find out they need a visa to get there. They were going to, for some reason, they were able to get on the plane. They were able to get all the way to India. Not just one plane, but 2 planes. Both planes let them on, which usually doesn't happen. But they get to India, and the Indian people go, "Where's your visa?" I didn't know we needed a visa. Had no idea. Luckily, they were part of this program, this work program that Cheryl and her friend raised some hell. And they spent about 24 hours in this lounge at the airport waiting for the security people to let them through. And they got this emergency travel visa that lasted 30 days, just the length of their stay. And that was it.
Wow. And that's another thing too, because when you're in that situation, there's no refunds. If you buy a ticket and you get somewhere and they won't let you in, you got to figure out how to get back home too. So that
they were immediately going to put them on a plane too. And if Cheryl hadn't just raised hell and go, "Nope, I'm not leaving. I am not leaving. This is not at all. I'm here for XYZ and I belong here." And it's so luckily it was a little tied in with the government. That's not going to happen with most people though.
Right. Yeah.
They're not going to have that ability. Yeah. Cautionary tale. Who is next? Let's see. I think this is Ian is next from Learn, Grow, and Invest.
I would say think about where you want to go before the trip. So check out some videos on the best places to go for tourists. You want to not have to carry around a lot of things with you, so pack lightly. And the third thing I'd say is don't go all out in terms of spending your money on the first day, especially if you'll be there for 3 to 5 days.
It's funny, you spent all this time with Money Nerds, and I can't believe it took till the third one to talk about your budget.
Oh, yeah. That's easy to blow, too, especially if you were like Like you're just way too excited. I've been there.
Allocate your money. You sound like there's a story behind that.
No, there's countless stories about me and my souvenirs. So I need to space out the souvenirs, especially when you also need to think about how much room you have in your bag. So I would find one souvenir, get too many souvenirs, and then there's another souvenir store that has even better stuff. And some of the stuff is cheaper. And so at one point you have to cut it off. So for me, that spoke to my souvenir habit issue problem, whatever you want to call it. So I now do that for souvenirs because you really got to plan out those because you will find a lot of stores and you have to go. I don't know, my feet, I can't stop my feet from going into souvenir stores. I don't know if anyone else suffers from the same
damn feet
issue.
I don't know what their problem is. What's the problem with your feet?
I don't know.
You know, having a budget where you dole out so much money per day makes a lot of sense to me. You can also use this so with kids. When my kids were young, they would always whine and it was kind of, so what we did, and this was actually advice from a great client of mine back when I was a financial planner, they said, give them X amount per day. They could spend it all at once. They could preload it, meaning you could have the entire week's money or however amount of money. You can have all of it at once, but when it's gone, it is gone. And by the way, if you don't spend it, you can also take it home with you.
Nice.
You can, so you have the money either way, but don't ask me for anything. This is it. I'm going to give you enough to afford either one really nice thing, or if you're on a 5-day trip, 5 small things. My daughter, the first time we did this was at Disney World. My daughter blew the entire week's stuff day one out of the gate. My son came home with all his money. Didn't buy a thing. He actually was saving it for something at the big, huge Disney store they have. And we were going there the last day and he went there and he just didn't find what he wanted. So it wasn't that he was a miser. He just didn't find what he wanted. So he's like, I guess I'll just take it home. And I think he ended up getting something really cool with it when he got home. But the cool thing was neither one of them whined about, can I have?
There you go. There you
Not
go.
one.
That's a good idea. That's what I'll do. Like $20 on souvenirs per day.
Yeah.
Or per 2 days. I like that idea.
Yeah. Give yourself that number, whatever the number is. All right. Let's hear from Ohan, the money doctor.
My name is Ohan, the money doctor. The traveling tip will be if you are going for conferences, have light carry-on bags so you can take some books or whatever. Gum, 5-minute gum. No, just joking. Chewing gum. And then you can take anything you want with your bag.
What do you do? Did you accidentally say gun or did it sound like you said gun? Is that what the joke
like
was?
It. Yeah, that was
So
funny.
you're going to go, wait, what?
No, you can't. That was funny. I
Hold
bet
on.
because I had to leave a book and I just didn't have room for it. It was like, okay, the cookies, the chocolate covered Oreos or a book, and I chose the chocolate covered Oreos. So you need strategery when you're at the conferences because when they have swag, it's unexpected swag. Speaking of swag, shout out to Ally for the microphone that I was using. It's a little mini clip-on microphone that was swag. So definitely making room for that.
Yeah, you helped me get a bunch of cool gear. Crystal was like, hey, you got to come over here and get this gear. Oh, yeah. And so I did, but that made my bag very snug because I didn't plan enough on Ohan's advice. But and this isn't just going to conferences. This is wherever you go, pack yourself room for those souvenirs that come home with you or books or whatever it might end up being.
I agree. Because, poor book. I'm going to buy the book.
We talked in the past, Crystal, about packing maybe that extra bag. Yep. Or leaving a lot of room in your bag, especially if you're taking a long trip. Stuff just invariably, even if you just get one thing every few days, you end up coming home with a lot of extra stuff. And even if it's just one little thing, like I brought home from Greece this sailboat. Look at how beautiful this is.
Oh, wow. That is beautiful.
It's a candle sailboat.
Stunning.
And it's nice, but you know how much wrapping this took? This took so much wrapping because this is glass. Yeah, look, there's a candle in the back.
Holder. Oh, no.
Yeah, a little tea light.
Candle. Oh.
Nope, it's just a little tea light that I put there on the back. No, and it makes the sail glow, and it's just beautiful. But this is all glass. And so imagine how much wrapping this took. Even though it's not that big in the big scheme of things, it took a ton of wrapping. And of course, we went to Peru. We had to get our guinea pig.
Cute.
Delicious and cuddly.
And And sandals. He has on sandals. That's
Yes.
cute.
But look he's very lightweight, but he takes up a lot of room if you're going to bring him home.
I bet they did not let you take that boat thing on the carry-on either, because it looks like the knife from the Golden Child. I don't know if you remember that movie.
No, but the end is like this. And we did pack it in our check bag because it was very well wrapped. Normally, something with glass, I will try to take in the carry-on because then I can just put it in the overhead bin and make sure it doesn't get wrecked. We've had stuff wrecked before.
Haven't we all?
Yeah.
Checked.
Yep. Just horrible. All right. Who is next? Let's hear from Mabel.
Hi, my name's Mabel Oza, and my Instagram handle is chowdat. And my travel hack is when you're in another city, wake up early. It's the most beautiful thing. You'll see people opening their stores, kids going to school. The streets are clean. There's not a huge crowd. I used this travel hack when I was visiting Rome, got some beautiful pictures, got to walk straight into the basilica. And there was also like a service from the Pope at that time.
How about that?
That's one of those underrated things, is to get up early before people with the kids, because they have to get the kids ready, kids fed. There's so many people you're beating to the punch when you just get up early.
Were you the one telling me about in Japan going to the fish market early, or is that
another adventurer?
Yeah, because I remember those awesome fish markets in Tokyo, somebody going down to those markets and going very early. And it's just them and a cup of coffee and strolling the fish market and watching the market vendors get ready for their day. It was super fun. And you had it almost all to yourself because it's 6 a.m.
I do that too here locally, the grocery stores. I love to go when the store is nice and clean. The shelves are nicely stocked and not picked over and everything. So I use that currently too.
We've already talked about that in other shows as well with theme parks. It's just important if you're going to ride anything at a theme park. But in any town, I remember getting up early in Venice, and it was just me and a bunch of doves and this woman in a beautiful dress and her photographer. And they were out early taking these pictures of her in a wedding dress in the middle of St. Mark's Square in Venice. And it was so beautiful. To be the only one out there experiencing that was amazing.
And it's cool, too, even bringing up pictures, because how many times have you seen there's 2 million tourists in the background of the photos? And the earlier you go, the less people that are in the backgrounds of the photos where you can see more. And sunrise pictures. I do like to get either sunrise or sunset pictures when I'm definitely at a beach, especially at a beach.
A great place to get sunrise pictures, oh boy, I didn't know we were going to talk about this. I think it's Mount Washington. It isn't Mount Washington. It's
Mount O'Boy. I've heard of Mount O'Boy.
It is the mountain overlooking Bar Harbor. I'm going to put it in right now. Mountain overlooking Bar Harbor sunrise. Cadillac Mountain.
Never heard of it.
So one of my favorite get up early stories is when we were in Bar Harbor, Maine, and we went to Acadia National Park, and Cheryl and I ran a marathon there. But Cadillac Mountain is the first place in the continental U.S. where you'll see the sunrise. So if you're on that mountain with maybe 25 people at the start of the day, maybe more than that, maybe about 40 people, you're going to be one of the 40 people that day in the United States to see the sunrise before everybody else.
The sun hits your face first.
It was so incredible. And what was neat was in the pre-dawn, there was a cruise ship coming into the harbor of Bar Harbor, and it was slowly going in, and you could see the silent town below you just twinkling and the ship slowly pulling in. It was like a postcard. It was so cool. Even funnier story though, Crystal, as we're leaving, everybody is picking up their stuff. All the photographers that were out there that had their photography on tripods, they've taken them down. We're all headed back to our cars, and there's a road that goes almost all the way to the top. So very quick and easy thing to do. But there was a blonde woman who comes just furiously. She looks so angry as we're all walking back toward our car. She is huffing and puffing and going as angrily as possible toward the top. And then behind her, about 20 feet, is a dude in a baseball cap like you're wearing right now. And he has this look on his face. He has this total look on his face where you can tell which one wanted to get up to see the sunrise and which one accidentally slept in too long and was now going to regret it for the rest of his life.
No.
Maybe the rest of at least that day.
I'm going to leave people behind her, which I guess maybe for safety, she had to take them along. Boo. That's
awkward.
Funny.
Yes.
Very.
Yeah. Funny for me, not funny for that guy.
Somebody's in trouble. That's funny.
Big trouble. All right. Who's next? I think it is Adrian.
Adrian Bell. I live in Florida, and one of my travel hacks actually learned from the Marie Kondo method, the way she folds. So I fold the way that she does with care and with love in a particular way that keeps my clothes from being wrinkled. It's the rolling method.
And she was explaining it to you, I think.
Yeah.
When you guys stopped.
I'm like, do tell. Yes.
I got to say, so there's two ways to do the rolling method. There's the very careful way so that your clothing is not wrinkled. But there also is on the way home, if you roll your clothes, it fills in all the nooks and crannies more. So I can stuff so much more stuff into my suitcase when I roll my clothes on the way home. So much more stuff.
I like the wrinkle thing because the iron sometimes at the hotel, not even the ironing board, how gross that thing looks normally. And I'm a steamer anyway, but the shower steam thing never works for me. How they're like, hang your clothes in the shower, let them steam the wrinkles out. So I need to learn how to fold for wrinkles to anti-wrinkle. That's my plan.
Especially when you go to a place like Europe where there are no irons in the rooms.
Yeah, that too.
Inside the U.S., you'll have an iron in the room, so you got a shot there. But otherwise, who is next?
Speaking of folding, I had an honorable mention. Our friend Andrea didn't want to be recorded, but she gave me a good idea, and I did this when we were there. She used the laundry bags for her dirty clothes, like while traveling. So I put all my dirty clothes in the laundry bag, and I took it with me just to keep that stuff separated.
That's a great idea. What do you do though when you got to take it home? Then it's not separated anymore. But then you're going to wash it.
No, just my dirty clothes are in the dirty clothes bag. So my clean clothes are, because I overpack, duh. So all my clean clothes are still in the bag, and my dirty clothes are all inside of the laundry bag. So I don't go send it for the laundry.
I know.
My own, but I use it as like a.
But you're talking about that as a plastic bag, though.
Yeah.
That you can take. I got it because Sometimes they have that cloth bag. I thought you were talking about like a cloth bag. I was like, I'm not stealing their cloth bag.
No. Yeah, they always have. I've never seen a cloth one. It's always been plastic.
Wow. Here's a flex, Crystal. Crystal gets someone who was one of our main stage.
Oh yeah.
Big idea quote headliners.
Oh, yeah.
Ange Matthews.
Okay. Ange Matthews, Happy Investor Method. And my travel hack is always electing for the concierge lounge floor because I get breakfast, lunch, and dinner and drinks. And it's only about an additional $100.
That one caught me because I had never thought of that.
Me neither. I had been somewhere by accident or mistake or happenstance. I don't know if I was with a friend and maybe she had the access, so we would go to that floor. And I'm like, does every hotel have something like this? Because that was like a secret. It was like the 7th floor of the hotel was like a special like floor. And I was like, ooh.
A lot of them do.
Huh.
But what's funny, Crystal, so I like Ange's hack and I don't like it other times. Let me tell you when I like it, when I don't. I like it if I'm at a conference like FinCon and I know that I'm just going to want to network with people. I'm going to want to eat. I'm not really paying attention to the city that I'm in. I don't really care about the city that I'm in that much. I want to care. I just don't have time. I got too much stuff to do. And if I can just go up with a friend to the concierge lounge and we can sit and have free drinks while we are networking. Like that's great. Or networking over breakfast or lunch or dinner, whatever that might be. And it's only $100. Like I'm saving so much money and I'm getting stuff done because I'm still at the hotel. Like I'm right there. I'm not having to figure out a place to go and Ubering and all that stuff. Like that makes sense. But man, if I'm in Paris, I don't want to have breakfast, lunch, and dinner in the hotel.
True. That makes sense. Yeah.
I want to go out and experience the other places there. But man, for business travel, that one caught me because that was really kick-ass advice.
Or also too, if you have a family too, like sometimes you are there just to see sights, and there may be different goals, especially
Good point.
for different dietary things. Or because I have a cousin that when they went out of the country, they only ate at a McDonald's or like a Burger King. Like it was the strangest thing. I'm like, you're in this beautiful country and you're just eating at American restaurants. So some people, it doesn't matter to them. So it depending on your trip too, that could be a cool money saver, especially if, a family.
That's the thing is if it's 100. So if you have a family of 5 and it is just $100 for the entire family, if you're all in one room, I mean, that's an easy decision because you could just do that on breakfast alone, the $100. And if you just want some chill out time where the family takes a nap and mom and dad get to take turns going to the lounge for an afternoon nap while the kids chill out in the room, like that's good for everybody.
Exactly.
And with my favorite tip of the show so far, we've had some other ones. Let's hear from Sasha.
Hi, I'm Sasha Smith from Birmingham, Alabama, and my travel hack is to iron the night before so you can get as much sleep in the morning as you can.
Sasha bringing the best laugh of the show so far. Okay, the amount of time to me is not that big a deal, but the fact I do love, Sasha, I do love ironing the night before because the next morning I just feel ready to go and I don't have to worry about getting my stuff together. It's so great when I have the fortitude. I do that when I run in the morning, Crystal. I get all my running clothes ready and then I just get up and just put them on. And I don't know, it's so much better when you're prepped.
That's funny. I'm the opposite. Or I'll think of it in theory of what I'm going to wear maybe, but I'm not getting up to prep it. It's a surprise. I surprise myself in the mornings of what I'm going to wear and how early or late I'll be if it needs to be ironed or not. Because I am not one of the people who will hang everything up. I will just rifle through the bag or throw it all on the spare bed.
It depends on how many days I'm there. Generally, for something like FinCon, I am hanging my stuff up because I'm going to be there for 4 days. If I'm there overnight, I'm not going near unpacking everything and repack. I'm just living out of the suitcase. The music's coming up, Crystal. You know what that means?
That means that we're at the road trip pit stop. So the halfway point, you're always dreaming. Well, always dreaming about, is the show almost over? Just kidding. When you're on a road trip, when you get to the pit stop, you're like, okay, what's at the end of the adventure? Are we there yet? How much further do we have to go? And how cool will it be when we're finally there? Over here, our pit stop is a hint at our gear of the day. And you can see past gear of the day at our store page, stackingadventures.com/gear of the day or GOTD. So Joe, what is our hint today?
All right. When you are traveling from point A to point B, this travel gear makes the flight fly.
Makes it fly. Some of my outfits make me look fly. Make me fly. This hat is making me fly.
Just not. No. I knew you were going there. I was about to.
I
was going to sabotage that. Gross.
Huh. All right. Let's go to break.
All right.
While I think about it.
Crystal, my gear today, when you're on the plane, this gear makes the flight fly.
Makes the flight fly. And you said point A to B. What about from point B back to A? Same?
Sure.
Makes the flight fly. Your license, your driver's license. The pilot, a PJ, private jet. What's my guess? I don't know.
Yes, it could be. I should use that sometime.
Nice.
He, over on Stacking Benjamins, has his own plane.
What?
He owns a plane. So
have you?
It would be funny. Yes, a few times. It would be funny if sometime our gear of the day is OG.
There it is. For a pilot friend, you need a friend with an airplane.
Oh, better than a friend with a boat is a friend with a plane.
Hey,
friend with a plane beats a friend with a boat.
Upgraded it.
He flew us to Podcast Movement one year.
Nice.
Another good conference that we've been to about podcasting.
Flight, the airplane fly. Your AirPods. No, that's weird. I guess I'm going to guess. I don't know. Cut it off. All right, let's keep moving. I don't know.
All right.
Dumped.
Bummer. It's easier than you think, if you think about that. Yeah, but you know what? You always think that when you're given the hint, you think that I can't really give you another hint because I think it will really give it away. But it does make your flight fly. Second half, man, we've got quite a few more here. In fact, we have enough adventures that we're not going to get to them all today. So we're going to save some of these for a future one. But for now, we're going to talk to, it looks like, Adriana.
So my name is Adriana Galvan. I am the owner and founder of Adriana Talks Dinero, and my travel hack, I actually got here on Sunday. I shopped around for car rentals because I went up to the mountains for 3 days, and Costco beat all of the prices, even with all of my loyalty and credit card memberships. So Costco's a place to go for car rentals. I paid $73 for a 2.5 day car rental.
That's incredible.
Wow.
Costco for your car rental.
Funny story about when I went to visiting my friend's daughter, UC Davis. We all went. I think it was Parents Weekend. So a group of us went. And I was flying into San Francisco. So I did not know how far that was from UC Davis. And so I texted my friend because they were there early. And so she just rent a car. We found something easy. So as I'm on the airplane, I rented from Costco and it was like $13. It was really cheap for a car. And it was even cheaper because it was electric at the time too. And I was like, that was convenient that I booked right on the airplane too.
What age? That is cool.
Yeah.
Which rental agency? Was it one that was at the airport? Did you have to?
Yeah, it was. Yeah. So I just, after I landed, while we were taxiing is when I booked it too. I just walked over to the car rental area.
But it's like Budget or Avis or Hertz?
Yeah, it's one of those. Yeah, maybe Hertz. I don't even remember, but it was one of them. And now they're more consolidated. It's like when you go to the areas, they're going to just have, I can see in the future to be just one person that services like all the cars. And now too, you don't even need to go to the person anymore because they'll have like a pod thing that unlocks the car automatically. Like AI is now being used to unlock the cars. So after you book.
I have Avis Preferred through my travel credit card, and it is so great that I get to the airport and my car, it just directs me right to my car. It's this car. And
this aisle number or whatever, booth 4.
Yeah, super easy, stand in zero lines is fantastic. And when I don't have it now, I feel so bougie. So that is funny. When I heard this tip, I'm like, saving money worth having to talk to somebody? That's
Not
funny.
Necessarily, yeah.
Definitely. If I can save that much money, that was a surprising amount of money, Adriana. And the thing that I like about that, because what I was worried about was exactly the fear you calmed, Crystal, was that I thought that it was going to be I thought I was going to go to a Costco or something to rent my car, but it's not that at all. The Costco is just the travel agent who's negotiated a better deal. That's wild.
Through all the companies too. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. Let's say hi to Jasmine.
Hi, I'm Jasmine with Mentally Mutual, and the travel hack that we do as a family of 5 is my husband and I both have the Southwest card, so we have the companion passes, which allows traveling as a family of 5 to be more accessible and affordable.
Bang. I was just telling my daughter, who's going to meet Cheryl and I in West Virginia next month to see the fall colors and hit up another national park. We're going to do New Valley Gorge, New River Gorge. But she said that she and her boyfriend are going to fly on Southwest. And I said, are you familiar with the companion pass? So for people that aren't, if you get X amount of points, you can qualify for a companion pass. And that will allow a friend, you name a person, they get to travel for free. You can also change it, I believe, a couple times a year. The program changes a little bit year by year. So depending on when you're listening to this, make sure that you go check the terms and conditions for that particular time. But heck, if you're traveling with 1 or 2 people to a few different places.
Beautiful. Yeah, that's a no-brainer.
Yeah, fantastic. And with a family of 5, that's great.
Yeah.
And then it was funny because Jasmine, it turns out, Crystal, I guess Jasmine had more.
Oh, that happens a couple times.
Yeah. So here's Jasmine with part 2.
Should I just continue on? Or Okay. We also use just 2 travel bags or 2 carry-ons as a family of 5, and we do that by using those bags that suck the air out. And we've figured out a really good rhythm to travel light and intentionally as a family.
You have never met anybody who brags about how much stuff they take on vacation.
True. That is a very good point. Wow.
It's
that's a good one.
always somebody who travels light, and that is often the goal. Cheryl and I just this weekend, I haven't tried it out, Crystal, but I got one of those little things that suck out all the air out of the little thing, so I can vacuum pack.
And I know,
stuff.
and then it comes with the little mini vacuum, right?
Yeah,
Is that
it's like
the
this
one
little
you
mini
have?
vacuum that comes with it.
Yeah, I'm that got that on my list too. See, was
It's-
that your gear? The bag with the mini vacuum? We
I'll
don't
tell
have
you in a minute.
those. Oh, okay.
I will tell you later. I can't tell you now. How long you been doing this? As long as I have.
Since today. I was today years old when I began podcasting.
All right, let's move on to our next one. Who is this one?
Oh, I did the anonymous.
I didn't. This is funny. I didn't.
So the travel hack that I have been really enjoying using lately
I know who
is
this.
taking my bag as a carry-on, but then expecting that it's going to get gate checked because I fly out of a small airport. And so they don't usually have room for a full-size carry-on. Then they end up gate checking it for free. So I get free checked baggage, and that's it.
At first, I'm like, who is that? And I'm like, I recognize that
We
voice.
know her.
And of
very
course,
well.
Miranda and our friend Jason Vitug are going to be on the show in a little bit,
Fun.
telling another fun travel story. I've done this a ton too. I don't know if you have, Crystal, where I'm
a lot
like,
of
you know,
families, yep, I pretty much always see a family that does that. And as soon as they announce, if anyone would like to like before they even get the word out, like you got the dads rolling up. Come on. Yeah.
there have to be two criteria for me. Number one is I'm flying direct, so my luggage doesn't have to make it between planes. Or number two is that if I'm not flying direct, that I have a long enough layover that my luggage will easily make it. And I still have had one time where it didn't make it, but generally it's when I have a long layover that works.
That's a good idea to have the rules for that. And what I noticed this last time I flew when I was coming back from Portland was the people that gate checked their bags, they told them to pick them up when we landed. As we were deplaning, they're like, just come, your bags will be in the galley. So I don't know where they put those people's bags, because of course I had a cheap ticket, so I was the last of the last to board. But yeah, they did tell those, it was like maybe 3 or 4 people that they're like, just we'll have your bags right at the front too, which was cool.
Flying out of a small airport, they will do that when we have the smaller Bombardier jets that where the big luggage, like Miranda was talking about, don't fit, and everybody stands in a line and waits for their bag. So they have that a lot when you fly out of Texarkana. The problem that I have with that is that if I carry a regular size bag and I don't check it, then I got to wait for it at the airport. If I've got a close connection, I got to stand and wait for the bag, and then I'm the dude running through the airport, which I don't love.
Not gonna happen. Not gonna happen.
Let's say hi to our friend Eric.
My name is just audio. My name is Eric Rosenberg. I'm a personal finance guy from Southern California. I live in Ventura. My tip for people looking to get the most out of travel is to save up those miles and points for high value airline redemptions. I have never gotten a better value per point redeeming than when I've done an international business class trip, which of course I'm not going to pay $10,000 for a flight, but when it's just taxes and fees, it ends up less than $100,000 experience.
Nice.
So it's interesting because I have tried this a lot. What I have found is that this is the tip that everybody wants to be true. And because of that, it's so hard, Crystal, to get that great international trip. I've actually had better results lately using them domestically because I feel like airlines are like, no, you guys all want to fill up business class with your free trip.
points.
So we're not going to give you many. And maybe it's that I booked too late. I don't know what the deal is, but I'm not finding the wonderful international ones. So domestic for me has been where it's at. But I guess Eric does make a great point there, which is do the math.
True. Yeah. Because I've hoarded points. And when I hoarded, it was just to go to Thailand, but it was not. I was fine flying regular. Tall me, I don't mind. Because remember, I'm a weirdo. I like the middle seat too. So I don't mind. I've not flown business class yet.
Crystal's just a natural hugger. Just wants to hug the person next to him.
Right. Be like, let's share both armrests, you guys. Yeah, it doesn't matter to me.
You know what's going to happen though, Crystal? I'll tell you this. You haven't flown business class After you do it one time, you'll be like, I'm never going back with the commoners again.
I don't want to do it. Maybe, I don't want to ruin it. I don't want to ruin it. But it's like, what do they say? Sometimes poor people don't know they're poor, because that's how I was growing up. And it's, I don't know. I'd rather not know what I'm missing.
When the really fun game for you is the floor is lava. Everything else is a bonus. Our friend Bobby at FinCon had some great advice. This one I'd never heard before either.
I'm Bobby Lee with 2 Minute Finance, and my favorite travel hack is in a situation where there is a cancellation or a delay or something, what we call irregular operations. Your ticket to get out of jail is to buy a lounge pass, not because you want to lounge. It's because oftentimes the most senior people for the airline that work at that airport are actually just hanging out in the lounge. They're ready to retire. They're sitting either at the customer service counter, or they have all the codes and all the knowledge on how to get you where you need to go. So paying $50 or $65 to get in the lounge gets you access to these senior customer service reps who can solve these problems for you faster than waiting in line. It's a jump the line card.
So maybe like the American Airlines lounge, or like sometimes when there's a specific airline lounge.
That's got to be what he's talking about, because I hadn't thought about this before, and I already have the lounge access because we travel so much. So it made sense for our credit card purchase to have this one, Crystal. But I'll also tell you this, we have solved very quickly so many travel hang up issues using those people at the lounge. And I never thought that would be the best job for these people, but it totally would be. You're in the lounge, you're with these people that are doing the more exotic travel. It's different all the time, the different stuff. It's the reason why there always seem to be older people Bobby, I never put this together, that the agents working in the lounge were always older, but they were always, Crystal, able to solve stuff very quickly and in a way that was kick-ass. When we would have the person at the gate, let's say that we had been upgraded to first class or to business class, and we didn't pay for it. We actually got moved up. The gate agent at the gate would go, no, you got to be happy to be on this plane. That's it. The person in the lounge, every time that I can remember, was able to preserve our upgraded status that we didn't pay for.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, really cool, Bobby. Again, another tip like Ange's that I went, wait, that's cool. But would I pay $60 or $85 or whatever the lounge fee is to be able to just go in the lounge, not for the lounge stuff, but to be able to fix a problem the airline had? I don't know.
It depends, right?
Yes,
depends on
definitely.
What situation you're in.
Good point. Not a frugal hack, though. That's a spend more money hack to get your problem. Now, if there's a problem and I get lounge access for that day, like to me, paying $85 for one time inside a lounge seems like a waste of money to me. I'm like, why would I want to pay to go into this lounge just for a couple of drinks and a quiet chair when I can probably find that anywhere and pay for my own drink? But if I can couple that with the help,
that is cool. And it depends, because sometimes you have a crazy long layover, or sometimes you would just miss a connection. You're like, okay, I need time, or I need quiet, or I need to get a presentation done or something. Sometimes there are these like desperate situations where, okay, I remember this. That's what I should do.
Then it makes a lot of sense. Our good friend, and he was also on the main stage, Rob Berger is next.
My name's Rob Berger. You can find me on YouTube, Rob Berger. And my travel hack is forget the points, forget the miles. They get devalued. They sit in your account for months, if not years. Just get a great cashback credit card.
So this is, for people who don't know Rob Berger, this is classic Rob Berger advice.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Keep it simple.
Rob Berger is just, I just want my life to be easier.
Yep.
Let's just make my life easier. Rob, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to play and here's the reason why. I was telling my son this because he now has moved to Detroit and he's traveling more often. And I'm like, Nick, maybe it makes sense to get the Delta card now that you're in Detroit, the Delta American Express. And he goes, does it beat my 2% cashback card? And I went, it depends, because your 2% cashback card doesn't give you the lounge access. It doesn't give you the preferential treatment when you get on planes. And for me, because I travel a bunch, I really like all that stuff. I like being able to choose from a full menu of seats without having to upgrade. I like being on the plane earlier so I get the overhead space. I like being able to take an extra bag. I like the lounge access. There's all these boxes it checks that 2% can't check. It just can't check it unless I just go ahead and pay for all those upgraded things. So it depends on what you're after. But heck, if you're here because you don't care where you sit on the plane and you don't care about the lounge access or the overhead bin space or whatever, and you just want to pay as little as possible to get from point A to point B, then yeah, Rob's 100% right, Crystal. Just get the 2% back credit card because it wins.
Yeah, because some people, they just want the easy button. The thought of looking through a portal or looking through this or that, it's no thanks. By the time I do all that, I don't want to go anymore. So sometimes the best option is what you know yourself. Rob knows himself. We know ourselves. So do what is natural for you. I know my Costco card. That's my 2%. And I love that. I don't even know of any other perks it has. But then the Chase, that one, I'd never cash those dollars in. I always use the points or transfers or whatever the case may be.
But he is right. People hoard points and they devalue.
Yeah, true.
That's a lesson you and I learned this year is spend your points.
Yep.
Even if you're not getting the huge dollar for dollar value on the spend, remember, if you pay attention to how you get the points. So I have these little stickers on my credit card. Look at this one, Crystal. This is
Show me the number, expiration. Show it all.
It doesn't have any of that, but I actually keep 2 different American Airlines cards because this one gives me more points for gasoline.
Got it.
And so check that out. But I got the sticker. It's green for gas. This is green for gasoline because I get more points if I use this one at the gas pump. But when I'm booking on a plane, I actually have my other American Airlines. And this is the one that gets me into the lounge as well. It gets me bigger perks. This is 5 times. If I book a flight, I get 5 times. So the only thing I use this card for is to book flights and to get my butt into the lounge and all the different perks that you get. But otherwise, I use the downgraded card for everything else. Now, keeping 2 cards, does that make sense? Again, we fly a ton. So yes, for me, for most people, it wouldn't. But I keep this gray card because it pays for itself with the point multipliers that the top card doesn't have the point multiplier. This is where I think they get you, is that people want to go from this gray card. These are American Airlines cards. People want to go from this gray American Airlines card up to the black card, but the black card doesn't have the point multipliers except on flights that the gray card has.
Got it. Makes sense.
So keep both. Anyway,
There you go.
I didn't show the numbers. Last one. You want one more?
Darn it.
You want one more,
Yes.
Crystal? Should we do one more?
One
Encore. Encore. All right. This is our good friend, Kate.
Good friend, Kate.
What?
Travel hack.
Travel hack. I'm Kate Horrell
From
Kate Horrell
what do you want to send them
to katehorrell.com.
What's your travel hack?
There is always a Target wherever you're going, or a Four, or some place that you can go buy what you forgot.
I love how we began this show with Wendy telling us, you know what? Don't fret. Just follow the plan.
Yep.
Don't fret, follow the plan.
Yep.
And Kate's advice at the end, don't fret. There'll be a Target there.
Right. Like even downstairs at the hotel, razors, like toothbrush, like they have everything at the hotel. But also nowadays, I've noticed 7-Elevens now sell pretty much everything. And they're fun because they have souvenirs too. The Thailand, the 7-Elevens there, so cool. So I love going into the Targets and what have yous, but just to get team stuff too. Like you never know what kind of regional stuff.
Autumn told me the the Japanese convenience stores were the same. They were amazing.
Yeah.
Had all kinds of fun stuff. I couldn't imagine going into New York City and wanting to buy my souvenir from a 7-Eleven. Like,
they have cool
what?
stuff. They do.
Look at what I got, a Slim Jim.
That says NYC.
That's so fun.
Thanks, carry.
We did it, Crystal. Only one more thing to do, and that's our gear of the day. You'll find all of our gear of the day at stackingadventures.com/GOTD. And these are all travel tested. This one is very travel tested because it makes your flight fly by
air, oxygen, cloud.
No, you know what? It is games on your iPad.
Or Netflix.
Because, and I will tell you, there are 3 games on my iPad that I will tell people that have been time tested by me. They're easy games. They're fun games. The first one is the board game Ticket to Ride. And if you buy Ticket to Ride, if you like board games at all, you can play it against the computer, and one game will take you about 30, 35 minutes. So I'll generally play a couple games, read something on a 2-hour flight, and I'm good. You can get all kinds of very inexpensive other maps besides the main USA map. So there's a Europe map, a Switzerland map, an India map, a Japan map that's really neat, speaking of Japan. So all over the world, lots of different maps for Ticket to Ride. I knew I was going to like it because I like board games and I like Ticket to Ride. So I bought the version on my iPad that you can automatically, that you get all the expansions when they release a new map. And plus I fly enough that it just adds to it. A second game is called Monument Valley. And this is a little puzzle game. You have this little princess character. This is one of the most stylized, beautiful games. But you are just trying to solve these puzzles by getting the princess from point A to point B on this map. And there are different things that move, and you try to put them together in a way so that the princess can follow the map, and it's addictive. And before you know it, the whole 2-hour flight is gone, and you're like, wait a minute, I just started that. What? But the one I keep coming back to lately is a game that's been a huge hit called Slay the Spire. Now, Slay the Spire, of all these games, is not going to be for everybody. In fact, it's generally not for me. I don't like fighting games. But at its heart, Crystal, what's happening is you have a deck of cards, of virtual cards, and you start off with these generic cards, and then every, quote, battle you have, at the end of the battle, you add a card to your deck. And so then they shuffle your deck, and then they give you X number of cards that you can play against the next opponent. And then you're trying to continually beat opponents till you get to the very top. And oh my goodness, is this game... I've never done crack cocaine, but people always say, this game's crack cocaine. I have no idea what crack cocaine is like.
Crack, this would be it.
Yes, but if crack cocaine is addictive, if people say it is, Slay the Spire is, because you're always like, one more floor, one more game, one more game, one more game.
Okay.
Yeah, so those are 3. Monument Valley is the prettiest one. Ticket to Ride is the most casual board gamey one. You can play against virtual opponents, between 1 and 4 opponents that are all virtual. So you could you can decide what level they are. You could have 2 easy, if you play against 5 people, you could have 2 easy opponents, 1 medium opponent, and 1 really hard opponent. You can have them all be difficult. Do whatever you want. Monument Valley, just so pretty. And the card building game, a little bit harder to get into, Slay the Spire. But anyway, we can link to all those. And they're at the Apple the Apple store.
Yeah.
You have to pay a few bucks for each one. None of them are overly expensive. And I think for this audience, at least those first 2, Monument Valley and Ticket to Ride, are for most everybody. The idea of fighting monsters, I don't know. I'm usually not into that, but Slay the Spire, the card deck building thing is so fun that you get, your deck is humming and you're beating all these opponents. And then all of a sudden you take one more card and your deck is just completely out of rhythm and you can't beat the next opponent. You're like, okay, I need fewer cards and I need to do this one. And anyway, super fun.
That's a good idea. I don't have any games on my phone or on my iPad. When I'm on a flight, I usually just watch a movie or something, but I'm going to try a game.
I like the interactiveness of doing these. Yeah. And the flight does fly. Now for those longer flights, long flights, if you're into like building games, they have the original they have the original Roller Coaster Tycoon game.
Okay.
Now made for the iPad. And that game is like a 3-hour game, 4-hour game, 5-hour game, whatever. They also have Civilization, which is another big civ building, just nightmare of a game, meaning that it's going to take your entire trip to Europe. I actually did that once. I realized on a trip to Europe that I was going to need to sleep, and I need to put the civilization down. Because civilization, you're always like, I'll just do one more turn. Next thing you know, 8 hours has gone by, and you're like, what did I do? No idea.
That's cool. Okay.
Yeah. So we'll link to some of these games, short ones and long ones. How about that?
Perfect. And you can find those at stackingadventures.com/gear of the day or GOTD.
Yes.
And also, too, if you have tips, we also want to hear from you at stackingadventures.com/mystory. You can record up to 5 minutes. And we also are looking for stories for Paris, right?
Paris, Germany, England. Yeah, your best travel hacks. Heck, go back to the old episodes if you just got done listening to some of the backlog of episodes. Give us tips on those. We generally have a potpourri episode about once every 6 weeks, so come join us.
Thank you.
All right. That's going to do it for today. She is Crystal.
And I'm Joe.
Keep on traveling, adventures.
Yes. Hey.